Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together.
Baseball family, welcome to this week's Tuesday episode of the Baseball Together podcast. My name is Brad. I'm here with our guy, Brig, rocking his Kansas City Monarchs hat. How are you today, Brig?
Happy. I'm very happy. How are you today, Brad?
Happy. I'm good. Good. 4th of July is coming up this week.
Yep.
And I talked about this on our June episode for Patreon for our readers. It's always been my favorite holiday, and I think it's just because I love summer, baseball, hot dogs, hamburgers, and chilling by or in the pool.
Oh yeah, baby.
And it is a holiday that lends itself to all those things and is the absolute best. Or what makes it the absolute best.
It's always been my favorite. And there's always baseball. And it sucks for all the baseball players who play baseball for my entertainment during the 4th of July. But man, I love that they do that. It's so nice.
We thank them for their service, right?
We do.
It's very nice.
Exactly. Thank you. Here's your money. Thank you for coming. That's great.
Yes. The other thing I love about it, by the way, transition, is the chance to sit back and eat seeds. Brig, it's the perfect opportunity to eat Chinook seeds. And if you don't have yours, you can get them and have them for the rest of the summer because there are a couple months left. Go to ChinookSeedery.com and use code BTPOD to save 10% on your order. My seed of the week, Brig, is the original. Lightly salted, deliciously roasted, original.
Fabulous.
And I'm going to make 3 guesses to see if I can get yours right. My first guess will be Parmesan and pepper.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But I was wrong. I was like, oh no. But you can get yours at ChinookSeedery.com and use code BTPOD to save 10%, like I said, and get everything from Parm and Pep to original to Hatch Chili, which is just fantastic, or Smokehouse Barbecue.
Well, that's why I hesitated, because that's my
that was my next guess, actually.
Hatch
that was my next guess.
Yes. It's my second favorite. It's
really
all
good.
tied for second favorite, but Parm and Pep is number 1. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, okay, we have some things to get into, quite a bit actually, so we're going to rock and roll and get it going. First things first, Tarik Skubal, Skubal-Dooble-Doo, if you will, is having an outstanding year. And we're going to let Brig tell us about it. Why don't you go ahead?
Oh, man. Dude, I did such a deep dive on this today. I got really excited about Scooby-Doo and the season he's having. So, first of all, he's already better than he was last year, which is astonishing, but it is happening, and we're excited about that. For those of you who may
not know or forgot, Triple Crown winner last year.
Cy Young winner, reigning Cy Young Award winner and Triple Crown winner from last season. He did both. So I started wondering, okay, where's he at right now, and who does he compare to historically? And here's what I've come up with. First, here are the numbers. He's got 10 wins. That leads all of Major League Baseball, tied for first in Major League Baseball. He's got a 2.15 current ERA, 138 strikeouts. That leads all of Major League Baseball. His whip is a 0.835 whip. That leads all of Major League Baseball. He's done this in 109 innings pitched across 17 games. He starts every one of them. He's also got a 3.9 B-WAR. That leads the American League. He's got an 11.4 strikeouts per 9 and 9.86 strikeout to walk ratio. That leads all of Major League Baseball. So I'm thinking...
That number, Brig, the strikeout to walk ratio, that's really, blows my mind. Because you get guys like Blake Snell, who was super dominant there a few times over the last several years.
Oh, yeah.
His strikeout to walk ratio is nowhere near that.
Nope.
Right? And I know that's one guy, but at the same time, though, he's got a couple Cy Youngs, right?
So 2. Yeah.
Yeah. And what Tarik Skubal is doing with not just generating swings and misses or ringing guys up, the fact that he's living in the zone and not walking and not getting guys on base with the sub 0.9 whip.
Yeah. It's insane,
blown away
dude.
by this.
It's insane. So you bring up Blake Snell for a good reason. He's one of a couple of active players who actually own multiple Cy Young awards. And he's not very many, but we'll get there in just a minute. Skubal is the only guy in all of Major League Baseball with a complete game shutout this season so far. The only one. He's not the only guy with a complete game. He's the only guy with a complete game shutout. There's one. That's him. He has one because it's incredibly almost impossible to get these days with the way pitching and analytics work together to make decisions on the field. Poo-poo. I don't like it. Okay. So I wondered who could catch him. Where are we at in the
hold on, Brig, real
runnings? Quick. Yeah.
Sonny Gray pitched to Maddox the other day as well. 9
He
innings,
did?
1 hit, no runs, no walks, 11 strikeouts.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, hold on. I think there was one other person, and it was just a couple days ago.
All right, come on, Baseball Reference. Update your crap, dude. Just kidding. We adore you, so don't take it away from us. Okay, so who else could catch him? First of all, it's not going to be Sonny Gray, okay? Just keep that in mind. It won't be Sonny Gray. But I thought, okay, let's look at Garrett Crochet. 7 wins, 2.06 ERA. That's lower than Skubal's. Garrett Crochet has 135 Ks. That's 3 shy of Skubal. His whip, though, is 1.015. He's done so in an additional 1/3 of an inning. He's got 109 109 and a third. And then it's also 17 games. So comparable sample size. Thought that was interesting. Max Fried also has a comparable sample size. He's also tied for first with 10 wins. He has a 1.92 ERA, 104 strikeouts, a .944 whip. He's done so in 108 innings pitched across the same 17 games. And I figure your next guy in line would probably be Hunter Brown, 8 wins, but he's got a 1.74 ERA. Holy crap. He's generated 118 strikeouts, a .888 whip. That's mathematicals right there. And he's done so in 98 innings pitched across 16 games. I thought, now hang on. We knew pitching was real good right now. Like real good. But that is a stacked cast of characters. And that's just the American League. I didn't even go into the National League. Right. Because he's not going to compete for a Cy Young with the National League, so why talk about it? Even though there's some great stuff going on over there.
I was going to say, another Triple Crown winner, the other Triple Crown winner last year, Chris Sale, like you could throw him up there, I'm sure. I don't know any of his numbers off the top of my head, but that's just a starting point.
Yeah, exactly. So then, okay. Who was the last American leaguer to win Cy Young awards back-to-back? You have to go back to the year 2000. It has been 25 years since an American League pitcher has won back-to-back Cy Youngs. That was 99 and 2000. Pedro Martinez is the last one. Let's do a comparison between Scooby-Doo and Pedro really quick. First, Pedro in 1999, 23 wins, 2.07 ERA, 313 strikeouts, a .923 whip, 214 and a third innings pitched in 31 games. The next season, he had 18 wins, 1.74 ERA, Brad. 284 strikeouts, a .737 whip in 217 innings in 29 games. So just put that in your prayer and ponder it. That's just,
it's a smaller sample size in year 2, so
it is okay.
Well,
no,
I'm just joking.
No, it's not.
I'm just joking. It's not. Fewer games, more innings.
Yeah,
which to me is more dominant.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm joking though. Like it's bonkers. But you look at Skubal from last year to this year though, like. He led the league with 18 wins. The fact that anybody even has 18 wins anymore with like you said, the analytics and the approach to pitching these days is just crazy. 2.39 ERA, led the league with 228 strikeouts. And then his whip, .922, 10.7 strikeouts per nine and a 6.51 strikeout to walk ratio. That strikeout to walk ratio is up by a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
From 6 to 9. That's almost 10, actually.
Yep.
That's wild. When the fact that last year guys are like, I don't want to face him, and now this year it's like, just don't even.
Like, I don't want to come to the ballpark that day. Yeah, exactly.
I got a lower back
Put
spasm
somebody
today.
else in. I'm supposed to go to a kid's birthday party. All right, so here's some more context. Active players who have 2 or more Cy Young awards. If Skubal wins a second Cy Young award this year, he will join this company. First, Scherzer, Kershaw, and Verlander each have 3. Okay, so he's got some time to get there. But Snell and DeGrom also each have 2. Those are active players. Now, he's also in conversation for another Triple Crown. For those of you who don't know, the pitching Triple Crown means you need to lead in wins, strikeouts, and ERA across the league. 22 National League pitchers and 18 American League pitchers have ever won the Triple Crown. Ever, by the way. It's rare. And then how many have won multiple? Walter Johnson has 3. Okay, for the American League. Grover Alexander has 3. And Sandy Koufax have 3. So who has 2? Okay, that's like royalty. All right? So who's in court with these people? In the American League, it's Lefty Grove has 2, Lefty Gomez has 2, and Roger Clemens. They all have 2 Triple Crowns. In the National League, Christy Mathewson has 2 Triple Crowns. Of course he does. Now, who did it back-to-back? I was like, okay, all right, we've got some historical context. Who has ever done it back-to-back? Well, Grover Alexander did it in 15 and 16. Okay. Lefty Grove did it in 30 and 31. Roger Clemens did it in 97 and 98. And Sandy Koufax did it in 65 and 66. That's it.
The thing that's funny about that list to me, Brig, is that like legitimately the only guys who are even in our time zone for you and I, like Roger Clemens and like almost Sandy Koufax. Mm-hmm. Nobody names their kid Grover anymore because of Sesame Street, and nobody has the nickname Lefty anymore either.
Yeah,
like just by the names, you can tell like that was a long time ago that happened. There is no chance there's anybody in the big leagues gonna have either of those names anymore.
Although, given this list, if your kid is a pitcher, you ought to just call him Lefty from now on and get it over with. Maybe it'll give him a leg up in the karma or something, because there's clearly something going on with Lefty. Guy's named Lefty. But that's crazy. Dude, we haven't seen anybody win the Triple Crown back-to-back since Roger Clemens did it in 97, 98.
Well, even then, I was just looking real quick to see the last time guys won Cy Young's back-to-back, and it's been like almost 10 years. I saw Scherzer did it in the NL, 17, 18, I believe is what it was. I didn't get a chance to look at Verlander, but I'll check him real quick because that's real fast.
I don't think he did them back-to-back.
I don't think he did them back-to-back either, but I just wanted to double-check to make sure. He did not. They were like almost 15. There's almost like it was 11 and 19, almost a decade apart.
That's a long time apart.
Yeah,
it's definitely not common.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. I just thought it would be interesting to talk about how historical he's being, because the historicity is intense, Mr. Bradman.
It really is. You're absolutely right, and I'm here for it because we've talked about this a lot this year, that we've been expecting the Tigers to be good for a couple years now, and it's finally here, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch teams that have been bad. Like, I would love for the Pirates to be good. I would love for the Rockies to be good again, right? Like, it would be so great for those things to happen. Unfortunately, the way they're run, it's not going to happen. But the Tigers have proven the way they're run, it is possible, and it's great. I'm here for it. And it's nice that it's not in my division. So, anyway.
That helps.
Yeah, I'd be pissed if it was. Anyway, all right. Moving on. So something interesting happened this weekend, and a player has drew the player drew 4 intentional walks in a single game. This is the first time this has happened since 2004 when Barry Bonds was honored in this odd baseball way, right? Baseball-y way. And I'm pretty sure one of those was probably with the bases loaded because that was something that we saw during that time was
Sure
teams
did.
would rather give up 1 run than have Bonds knock in 4 or even drive a double or hit a double in the gap. Either way,
Yeah, right.
that's a thing that was going on. But Brig, I know you know because you're looking at the notes, and I know because I actually watched the game where this happened and they talked about
Yeah.
it, believe it or not. I
Yeah.
watched the game because I have maybe
Don't
a
know
problem.
why.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
why this game of all the games would you have chosen to watch? I don't know. That's why it's newsworthy, because nobody
That's-
noticed.
Right, because it happened, and it's almost like if nobody saw it happen, it actually happened. It did happen because I was watching if nobody else was watching on TV besides
Way to
FanDuel.
go, Brad.
Anyway, I'll get to it. It was not Aaron Judge. It was not David Ortiz. It was not Albert Pujols, and it was not Ken Griffey Jr. because it happened this weekend to James freaking Wood
Yep.
against the Angels. Also, that is such an Angels thing to do.
It really is. But this is absent Ron Washington. Is he still out?
Absent
right?
Ron Washington, absent Joe Madden and his perplexing Mike Trout with walking somebody at the bases loaded, right? Like,
Yep.
this is an interim manager doing this.
Yep.
The only other guys that this has happened to since 1955, Roger Maris, Gary Templeton, Manny Ramirez, and Andre Dawson.
That's it.
But
Then you get to Barry Bonds, and then you get to James Wood.
to James Wood, who, by the way, Brig, is in
Okay.
his second big league season. He made his debut last year, played 79 games. He's played more than that this year with 84, and he is only 22 years old.
I know.
That
Make it make sense.
is the baffling part. That alone is the baffling part. By the way, did you know he went to IMG?
No.
Yep. He is a
I
product
love
of
it.
IMG. Yep.
Those guys down
Originally
there know what
drafted
they're
by the
doing.
Padres.
Let's be completely honest.
They do. But it's wild to me that the Angels are that afraid of a second-year player. And you know what? To be completely honest, probably ought to be.
Yeah.
That dude's
Let's look at his
bat-to-ball
numbers.
skills are bonkers. Go
Do
ahead.
you remember what Tarik Skubal's B WAR was this year? Look at the notes.
Like 3.6?
3.9. Okay. James
Awesome.
Wood this year, 3.9. This is B WAR right now. Okay. Just let that stew in your craw for a minute, okay? Over 84 games, he has accounted for 52 runs, 89 hits, 19 doubles, 22 homers, 64 RBIs. He's stolen 11 bases. He's only been caught on 4 additional attempts. He works a walk 54 times. His batting 283, 386, 552. His OPS is at a 938 OPS plus 165. Yeah, walk the guy. Yeah. I don't know
It's
what
so
the
crazy.
situation was, but yeah, walk him. It makes sense. And it's his second season. I don't get it. That doesn't make sense.
It does make sense. It's just so funny though. Like,
yeah.
The only other player to strike that much fear in an opponent in our lifetime was Barry
It was
Bonds.
20 years ago, and it was Barry Bonds.
Of
And that's
all
why I'm
people.
saying it hasn't been Griffey, it hasn't been Judge, it wasn't Manny, it was Manny, it wasn't Poppy. You know what I mean? Like, these are the names you think of when you think who got walked 4 times in a single game. Well, welcome, James Wood. Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah, really though, like it's insane. So the one thing that's fun to think about James Wood is that, like, okay, he can hit the ball, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He can put the bat on the ball. But you look at those stolen base numbers, like he had 14 last year, he's already got 11 this year, he's only been caught stealing 4 times. He's 6'7", 235.
Yep.
He's a big
That's
dude.
Aaron Judge size. Yeah.
And he's getting bags. And he's hitting for average. Like,
Sure is.
get ready to back up the Brinks truck, Washington,
Yeah.
because it's gonna happen. And if you don't, somebody else will.
Yeah, you better pay this man. And it better be soon.
Pay that man his money.
Yep. He's
anyway,
he's played defense. His defensive numbers look good too. I'm just looking, and
he's good. He's good all around. He's
good defensively. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought
I got to watch him just be terrifying for a weekend against the Mariners in a terrible series that the Mariners played, and he was a big part of it. I think he homered in all 3 games, and it was just like, gosh dang it, like don't pitch to the guy, just put him on. But then he's gonna still, I don't know, it's bonkers.
Crazy.
So, yeah, if you don't know about James Wood, go watch the Nats. And by the way, C.J. Abrams is a great player too on the Nats.
Yeah.
I knew he was fast, but I did not realize how fast he was until I watched him leg out a triple yesterday. And it was like next level speed. So the Nats are a fun little team to watch. They got too many holes to be good, but man, they got some talent on that team.
I agree.
Okay. Let's talk All-Star game, All-Star voting, because it's that time of year. Brig, you want to tell us about what's going on in the All-Star voting and things like that?
Yeah, you can vote on the All-Star game if you want, because they let fans do that. Phase 1 ended already. Phase 2 runs July 30th through June 30th through July 2nd, so it'll end tomorrow or whatever. So we know who the attendees will be. Now it's time to determine the starting lineup, and that's where we're at. So let's just run down the American League really fast. In contention for first base, Paul Goldschmidt versus Vlad Guerrero Jr. Second base, Jackson Holliday or Gleyber Torres. Riddle me that, Batman. Third base, Alex Bregman versus J-Ram. That's easy. Alex Bregman's hurt. There's your vote. Mm-hmm. Shortstop, Jacob Wilson versus Bobby Witt Jr. Far less decisive than I think anybody expected. If you'd have told me 6 months ago who would go to the All-Star game and start, this kid from Oakland or Bobby Witt Jr., I'd been like, Bobby Witt Jr. But now it is a genuine battle because Jacob Wilson's hitting 338. Bobby Witt's hitting 285, for example.
And Jacob Wilson never, ever, ever strikes out, by the way.
No.
Real quick about Jacob Wilson. I saw this the other day. I thought this was super cool and super funny also all at the same time. He says that he has to play video games on game days or he does not see the ball as well.
Oh,
because
interesting.
It helps with his eyes, and I totally believe this and think it's a thing. Mm-hmm. He says that he does not see the ball as well on days that he doesn't play video games because it has to do with his decision making, hand-eye coordination, and reaction time.
Reaction time, speed.
Kids play Fortnite on game day. Don't let your parents tell you no. Anyway.
Okay, I am going to ask you who your picks are, but I want to keep running through these really quick. Shortstops, Jacob Wilson, Bobby Witt Jr. Catcher, Alejandro Kirk, Cal Raleigh. Outfield, Javi Baez, Riley Green, Stephen Kwan, and Mike Trout. You get to pick 3, by the way. National League.
You get to pick 2 because Judge is already the starter.
You're right. Yeah. Judge is already the starter. Hey, good for you. Designated hitter, Ryan O'Hearn or Ben Rice. National League, first base, Pete Alonso or Freddie Freeman. Second base, Tommy Edman or Ketel Marte. Third base, Manny Machado or Max Muncy. Shortstop, Mookie Betts or Francisco Lindor. Catcher, Carson Kelly, Will Smith. Outfield, Ronald Acuna Jr., Pete Crow Armstrong, Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Pajes, Juan Soto, or Kyle Tucker. Shohei Ohtani will be the DH for the National League. The end. He's already automatic. Okay, now, who do you want, or who do you think should get it? Who do you think's going to get it? How do you want to play this?
Think and should. How's that?
Okay.
Think followed by should.
All right.
So
who do you think's going to get it? Paul Goldschmidt or Vlad Guerrero Jr.?
I think it's going to be Vlad, and I think he should get it. That's just me. I know you're biased towards Paul Goldschmidt, but
I also think he's the better player this year. Sorry. Okay. I don't know who's going to get it, but I'll bet Vlad does, but it should be Goldie. Okay, second base?
Gleyber Torres should get it. I think Jackson Holliday is going to get it because of the hype that's surrounding him. More people know that name. I think more casuals know the name Jackson Holliday.
I think you're right. I agree with you. Third base? Duh.
Well, J-Ram's going to get it. He should get it. He's healthy.
Yeah, 100%.
And he's
But
awesome.
would be a tighter contest if without the injury. Okay,
It
shortstop?
would be. I think if Bregman was healthy, I think J-Ram should still get it and probably would.
I agree, but probably wouldn't. Yep. Go ahead. Shortstop.
Bobby Witt should and will.
See, I think Jacob Wilson should. But Bobby Witt's going to. He'll start.
See, I think Bobby Witt is a more complete player all around.
I think
Jacob
in the
Wilson's
All-Star
good.
game,
in the
All-Star game, you're going to get
Jacob
2
Wilson,
innings.
The fact that Jacob Wilson just doesn't strike out blows my freaking mind. But
Yeah.
Bobby Witt Jr. is a bona fide superstar.
True.
Like, atmospheric superstar, and should and will get the vote. That's the thing about Bobby Witt Jr. He's the next level.
I agree. I just think Jacob Wilson is giving him a total run for his money this season.
That we never would have seen coming. You're absolutely right.
Never.
But he's just not there yet.
Okay. Catcher, Kirk or Raleigh?
Please. Cal Raleigh.
I know. Duh.
I
Anybody who votes for
I don't think those two are even in the same conversation this year.
32 home runs to Cal Raleigh. Alejandro Kirk has 7. Okay, I know his average is a little higher, but his OPS is 300 points lower. So back off. 250 points lower.
But still,
all right.
Alejandro
give me
Kirk
2
is a
outfielders.
slap-hitting catcher.
Yeah, he is. And he's really good for that. He does a great job there.
He is good at that. Because he's not going to strike out and he's going to move guys around. But anyway, go ahead.
Bingo. Okay, give me 2 outfielders to join Judge.
I think you give it to Mike Trout because of who he is. You can't not. It's almost like a lifetime achievement award for him. And I'm going to give it to Riley Green. I'm a big Riley Green fan. Riley Green fan. Try saying that 5 times fast.
I am too. I think you give it to Green, and then I think if you're being nostalgic, you give it to Trout. I think other than the nostalgia, the battle between Stephen Kwan and Javi Baez is really interesting. But I don't know. I think you give it to Trout because you have to. Give me your DH, Ryan O'Hearn or Ben Rice.
Ryan O'Hearn, probably.
Oh,
I know.
DH,
I know.
though?
You were telling me the other day about how the Yankees are just finding ways to get Ben Rice's bat in the lineup because they need it.
Yeah.
But I feel like Ryan O'Hearn. I don't know. Part of it to me is that Ryan O'Hearn has a lot of conversation around him because he could really help a team down the stretch after the trade deadline.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
And that's because he's been so great on a not great team.
Yep.
So that's part of the reason I got to give it to him.
Okay. You're wrong, but that's fine. Give me the National League first base.
National League first base. Pete Alonso. But I think it will be Freddie Freeman. I think it should be Pete Alonso, but I think it will be Freddie Freeman because he's not in New York.
Even with the stacked Dodger appearance, it is going to be an all Dodger show. It just is.
There was an all Royals show one year.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, give me your. I think it ought to go to Freddie.
Okay.
I think he's a better first baseman.
I wouldn't be upset, obviously. But because I think they're 1 and 1A or 1A 1B, like they're there with one another.
Yeah,
is really what it comes down to. But anyway,
all right. Second base, Tommy Edmund, Ketel Marte.
Ketel Marte, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. But Tommy Edmund will be. Yeah, you think so? Will be. I'll bet Tommy Edmund gets it. But it should be Ketel Marte.
I think the thing with Ketel Marte over the last week or so helps him with the voting.
Yeah.
And
he brought that OPS up.
I'm not saying sympathy votes. I'm saying awareness. People who didn't know who he was know who he is now.
Yeah. People who didn't know who he was are foolish.
Right. Absolutely.
So you got to be something. Anyway, third base, Machado or Muncy? Oh, my word. How are we
somebody
even
better
that?
at third base this year?
Why is this the question? Why?
I don't know. I like Manny Machado, and Muncy's having a good year, but I feel like there's got to be somebody at third base who was better than these two this year. Because
Well, we're going to talk
Machado's
about.
having a down year for himself, right?
That's
Isn't
right.
he?
Yes, it's not his best first half. But it's still great. 292, 13 homers.
I know.
Come on. Come
I
on.
I want to say Machado should have it, but I think it'll go to Muncy for the same reason you said that.
That's right.
That
Dodger
Edmund
fans. Dodger
Yeah.
fans.
There's a lot of
Mookie
them there
Betts,
everywhere.
Francisco Lindor, shortstop.
Mookie Betts, all around, baby.
Yep, I agree. Catcher will be Carson Kelly or Will Smith. This is so easy.
Will Smith.
Yep. Will Smith, if it weren't for Cal Raleigh, it would be hard to pick a better catcher in the entire Major League Baseball situation right now.
Mm-hmm.
The dude is amazing. Okay,
and he's
outfield.
been good for a while too. By the way, it's not just like Cal broke out.
Not a
this year.
breakout
Will Smith
year.
has been there.
Yes, exactly. Give me three NL outfielders: Acuna, Pete Crow Armstrong, Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Pajes, Juan Soto, Kyle Tucker.
Okay. I'm gonna go PCA, Juan Soto, Kyle Tucker. I got to put Acuna as my fourth, and the only reason he's my fourth, Brig, is because he hasn't played as many games as everybody else. But man, he made it hard to make that decision that fast.
Yep. Yeah, in that short amount of time, this is rough. See, and Pete Crow Armstrong immediately. That's a no-brainer. And then I think Andy Pajes makes a lot of sense right now. And then I'm going to give it to Acuna. I want him to take it. Yep. But I think Juan Soto will get it, that last spot for me.
You're
Soto's
leaving
gonna
Kyle
get
Tucker off of this?
Oh, you're right. Oh, no. Nope. I'm reimagining my list. Pete Crow Armstrong, then Kyle Tucker, then Andy Pajes. Then Andy Pajes. Okay. That's how I feel. It's my official position. But Juan Soto's going to make it in, and it's not okay given the situation we're seeing statistically.
It's wild, right?
Yeah, it's
because
BS.
his is mostly recent.
Yep. I have nothing else to say, but except we're going to talk about it in just a minute.
We are,
Just you
because this is the thing, this is phase 2 of the voting. We've gone through one phase where they pick the top 2 vote getters of each position, like we just went through, and they pick the top vote getter in each league, and they're an automatic bid, right? Is this getting to be too much? I think it is.
Yeah, it is. It
Like,
is. And I understand the fan involvement. They want that. It's
right.
Great. Makes sense. But I want more of a show. If you want me this involved, then I want the skills competition. Otherwise, just take my vote one time and be done.
Right. And I think it drives me crazy. Go vote 5 times a day. Go vote 5 times a day up until this day, and then we're going to have phase 2. Now you can vote 1 time a day. Like, and I can't remember if I said this on this show or not before, but I don't like to vote for All-Stars. I don't do it because there are incentives attached to guys' contracts if they make the All-Star team, and I don't want to be adding to or taking away with that in any way based on my bias or whatever, right? Like, and I know it's like, oh, get off your high horse and your gilded soapbox, whatever. That's just my personal feeling. And I know that there are guys, like, all these guys are going to be there because they all deserve to be there, right? Because even if you don't win the starting position, you're going to get another slot from the coach, or the manager is going to select you to be there, and the league will select.
Yes.
But still, like, I don't want to have anything to do with how much a guy makes. Either make it so that you cannot have all-star incentives in your contracts. I get there are MVP, there are Silver Slugger, Gold Glove, there are incentives there. That's fine, kind of, because that's all voted on by, like,
Yes.
by like the writers, isn't it? So
They're just performance driven. They don't have anything to do with popularity. That's the difference.
yeah, and this is a popularity contest.
It
so
is.
It's like
That's the
you're
hard
having
part.
not a great year, but if the fans love you, you're gonna get the votes.
Yep.
So you can go play like garbage, but have a great personality. I mean, I always go back to Ken Griffey Jr. was almost voted in as a starter the year he retired. He was not playing baseball when the votes were being tallied.
Exactly.
Because everybody knew who he was. Everybody wanted his name on the ballot, right?
That's right.
And
you can write guys in.
Yeah.
You know how I know? Because I disagree with Brad. I vote, and I vote with discernment. I'm not a popularity vote guy. I just And my discernment's better than yours. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I think there is a huge difference between people who vote with analytics in mind versus people who are like, I'm a Dodgers fan, or I'm a Braves fan, or I'm a whatever.
Right. Well,
That's
I said not 5 minutes ago, I don't think, that there was a year that it was all Royals almost. There were 7 Royals in the starting lineup, I think, because the Royals ran this big campaign to stuff the ballots with Royals. And they did. It worked.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so who on that team got bonuses who shouldn't have gotten them, or took them from somebody else in the league who was more deserving because of a popularity contest and a campaign to get their players in the All-Star game?
Yeah.
That's why I can't handle it.
I don't agree with it.
But you're right, though. You bring up a great point, though. If you're going to have the fans this involved, do more with it. Don't just do the home run derby. Let's get a skills competition in there.
Yeah. And the only reason I say that is not because they owe us anything and not because they're sitting around waiting for Brig to vote. Nobody cares. And nobody cares that I'm not voting unless I get a skills competition. Nobody cares. I just want one. Okay? I'm just being petty because I want one.
So have you seen I've seen some reels on like Instagram and stuff that they used to do one. The one that I specifically remember was seeing Benito Santiago thrown down to second. That there was some kind of skills competition with catchers. Like, I want to see it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, one more thing real quick before we get out of here. The Pirates took it to the Mets this weekend. Holy moly, Rick.
Yeah.
Okay.
They really did.
I don't mean to laugh like that, Mets fans, but holy smokes, you should be, because this is wild. Okay, so 3-game series, the Pirates beat them 9-1, 9-2, 12-1. That's 30-4 for you actuaries out there. And so I wanted to look at a couple things here, Rick, just to see just a little bit of comparison. These teams have played each other 8 times. 8 times? I think it was 8 times so far this year. Against the rest of MLB, the Mets are 46-31 with a plus 67 run differential.
Whoa.
Against the rest of MLB, the Pirates are 29-48 with a minus 70 run differential.
Wow.
That's too funny to me. I couldn't not look at that and be like, what? Sorry, they played each other 6 times. Played each other 6 times. My math was a little bit off. But anyway, head-to-head this season, the Pirates own the series 4-2 with a plus 28 run differential. Most of that is from this weekend, obviously.
Yeah.
But still, the fact that the Pirates own the Mets this year, Brig, like, if you got a bad team.
Doesn't make any sense.
If you got a bad team, Brig, you should still be watching because you never know. That's what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
It's baseball. That's baseball season.
That's baseball, Susan. That's right.
So, it's good stuff. It's so funny. And I was dying every time I checked the score this week. I'm like, oh my gosh, the Pirates really going to do this? Oh my gosh, they're up 5-1. Are they going to hold? They're going to extend their lead. That's what they're going to do. Wild.
It is wild.
This is one of the things I just love about baseball. But baseball family, thank you for joining us for this Tuesday edition of the Baseball Together podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review everywhere that you can. If you have not and you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated to help out the show. And in the meantime, we'll catch you Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern.